Okay, so the MMO Lite. So, right a few days ago, rather, yesterday, right around dinner time, they ended up having this interview here. CryptoStache ended up doing the interview with Kieran Warwick. And as a part of that interview, there was a lot of talk about the MMO Lite, the vertical slice, as they were talking about the VS. And we actually get to see our first instance of gameplay from it. I'm gonna kill the music because I want to play the video. Of course, big shout outs to CryptoStache. Make sure you give them the view on the video as well, and not just seeing it from me. I'm gonna play it through the one time here on stream, then I would like to break it down a little bit further after that.
And then we still have it, but like I feel like there hasn't been updates to it at all. And you know, this footage here that we found on this hard drive from you, it seems like it might be crazy overworld footage of something I don't think I've ever seen before. Why don't we take look, you're not gonna be able to stop us on this. Why don't we take a look at this before Kieran jumps across the table and try to rip this from my hands? All right, let's go take a look real quick, agents.
All right. So, first off, I have to say I love what Secret Agent Stash here is doing, where their interviews are basically interrogations. I find that amusing and absolutely hilarious. I love this interview. But, okay, so first off, the one thing guys mentioned, right off the rip, the pacing of this is so much faster compared to what we were seeing with Overworld. Even if I have my fully loaded, like, Supreme boots and jetpack, it is nowhere near this speed of combat. And now, granted, in this instance here, they're all using swords, so there is always the possibility that certain weapons or certain classes, if you will, because I imagine there's going to be maybe some attributes change. Again, this is all speculation. I do not know. This is just me speculating, but based off of years of playing things like World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy 14, EVE Online, and other MMOs, a pretty standard thing is that certain weapon classes end up having different attributes. A melee class like a sword user would probably be one of the faster ones. But even still, with how quickly they're zipping around here, it's a much higher pace compared to what we were seeing in Overworld, and that does excite me, even though I know I am going to be at much more of a disadvantage because I am a little bit older than the average gamer. This is why I play support. The next thing that I want to take a look at here is that my camera is covering it, so I am going to briefly disappear. Just, we're gone for a second. But in the bottom right-hand corner, there is the health bar for an Illuvial, and you can see out on the field, your Illuvials are actually out in the fight with you. So this excites me personally because my most favorite way of playing MMOs personally has been, whether it is in World of Warcraft, it was a hunter, and then in Final Fantasy, it was as a scholar. And with scholar had much more of a positional aspect to it. And I remember I was talking to Scoriox on X about this just yesterday when this first came out. But the aspect of being able to say, and as a scholar in Final Fantasy, for example, I had my tome that kind of replaced my staff. So I could be healing something off to, like I could be healing the tank, for example, but then my pets might be doing something in the middle as an AoE heal. And one of the things through this interview with CryptoStache that I definitely recommend that you check out for yourselves as well is the aspect of switching out your Illuvials. Scholar, which I'm going to just keep comparing it to because this is kind of what I'm seeing in terms of the Ranger plus Illuvial kind of dynamic. In Final Fantasy, no, you just had your one. You had your one creature, like yes, you healed, your creature had its own things that it could do as well, and you'd position it in the battlefield accordingly, but you just had the one, and it did its one thing. With Illuvium, what I'm really, really curious about seeing is what the cooldown is on switching, and how many abilities like translate from arena to MMO boss battles. Because the example that I gave, like, say if I had my Archelion, I just say in this instance right behind this big battle boss, this big boss where the Groko is. If I planted my Archelion right there and it's doing its occasional AoE heal, and I then switch that once everybody is fully healed to my Appon, so then everybody's getting a damage buff, and then give everybody a damage buff, and then the tank just got nuked, or one of my teammates just got nuked because they were standing in the fire. They stood in the red because you can see the red spots on the ground. So I would assume that's where the boss would end up hitting. So my teammate got nuked. Can I switch to my Adordo and do a burst heal on them? How smooth is that transition? How often am I allowed to switch is what I'm really, really curious about. Because too fast in this game just becomes really easy, really, really broken because your supports are just going to carry it. But there is the potential for like switching at a reasonable level. We'll have to obviously figure out what that level is. But as someone who really, really enjoyed Scholar as supports, and this is like exactly what I want. This kind of entire aspect. Even if I'm stuck using the same alluvial thing, like hard committing it for a minute or 2 minutes, just having the option to support in the way that I want to as the scenario needs is really, really intriguing to me, and I'd love to see it. And the fact that this is going to not just be for supports either, for your DPSs, for your tanks, there might not even necessarily be any dedicated roles in this. Like, who says that I can't bring a Groko as a tank, bring Scoriox for DPS, and then if I need a heal, then switch over to Archelion or something like that. You can very well just make yourself a bit of a Swiss Army knife and screw the roles. I just swing and hit things, and I choose the alluvial that I need for the scenario. Like, that's definitely doable as well. So I'm going to be looking forward to this, getting more information from this, because it just looks extremely exciting to me. And one thing I do want to point out as well is we see the Doka in battle here. So this boss does have other alluvials actually coming out to battle for it. So right off the rip, we're getting ads. Adds up the difficulty a little bit. I'm just looking forward to it. I'm just starstruck essentially right now. Extremely, extremely cool. Awesome, therefore, Illuvium to leak that. Awesome interview again from CryptoStache as well. Definitely recommend seeing the full interview. If you're on the YouTube side of things, I have that entire interview linked in the description of the video. But if you're from a different platform, definitely go check it out as well.